I've always been fascinated by the underbelly of cities, you know? Like, we're all taught that it's kings and presidents and fancy-ass architects who built our skylines, but that's bullshit. The real urban planners, they're the ones your parents warned you about. Pirates, gangsters, mobsters. These are the fucking geniuses who shaped our cities. Alright, let's kick this off with some OG shit. Before we had Al Capone in a pinstripe suit, we had Blackbeard in his fucking pirate hat. These guys weren't just robbing ships, they were economic masterminds. You know what I mean? They had profit-sharing schemes that would make Wall Street jealous. Take Port Royal in Jamaica or Nassau in the Bahamas. These weren't just pirate hideouts. They were booming economies. Pirates were pumping more money into these places than the actual governments. Bars, brothels, black markets. All this shit was thriving because of pirate gold. It's fucking wild when you think about it. These outlaws were laying down the foundations for entire cities. Now, fast forward to 1920s America. Prohibition hits, and suddenly alcohol is illegal. But here's the thing. People still wanted to get wasted. Enter the mob. These guys saw an opportunity and they fucking ran with it. Cities like Chicago, New York, Las Vegas, they exploded with underground action. Speakeasies, rackets, nightclubs, all of it fueled by illegal booze. But here's where it gets really interesting. These mobsters weren't just slinging gin, they were investing in the cities themselves. Real estate, entertainment, you name it. They were literally shaping the urban landscape. Let's talk about some of these gangster visionaries. Al Capone, Lucky Luciano, Bugsy Siegel. These guys weren't just thugs. They were fucking entrepreneurs. Take Bugsy Siegel, for example. This dude looked at the Las Vegas desert and saw dollar signs. While everyone else saw sand and cacti, he envisioned neon lights and slot machines. And he made it happen. Bugsy turned Las Vegas from a dusty shithole into a glittering empire. He bet everything on the idea that casinos could be the center of a city, and holy shit, was he right? The Strip isn't just a bunch of casinos, it's the beating heart of Las Vegas. And it all started with a gangster's vision. Here's where shit gets real. In neighborhoods where the government was either corrupt as hell or just straight up absent, gangsters became the law. They had their own code, and that code became the rules of the street. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective. These guys provided protection, jobs, and a twisted kind of order. Think about it. In many immigrant neighborhoods or poor communities, who did people turn to when they needed help? Not the cops, not the mayor. They went to the local mob boss. These gangsters became a shadow government, deciding everything from who got loans to who ran the corner store. It was urban planning through intimidation and loyalty. Fucked up? Yeah. Effective? You bet your ass it was. Now, let's talk about the bread and butter of gangster economics. Vice. Gambling, drugs, booze, sex, all the shit that people want but society says they shouldn't have. Gangsters looked at these forbidden fruits and saw fucking gold mines. And you know what? They were right. These vices became engines of economic growth. Entire districts were built around satisfying these sinful urges. Red light districts, gambling dens, drug territories, all of these became microeconomies within the larger city. And the money? It didn't just stay in the underworld. It filtered up, building legit businesses, funding political campaigns, even supporting charities. It's like the city had two circulatory systems, one above ground, one below, and both were pumping cash. Here's the kicker. What gangsters did isn't that different from what big corporations do today. They saw demand, they controlled supply, they eliminated competition. Sound familiar? It's fucking capitalism 101. The only difference is gangsters use Tommy guns instead of lawyers. These guys were risk takers in a system that rewards risk. They played the game of capitalism from the outside, and they played it hard. They recognized that urban land meant power, and they grabbed it with both hands. In a way, they were just hyper-aggressive real estate developers. Instead of bribing politicians in back rooms, they just cut out the middleman and became the government themselves. Check this shit out. A lot of the neighborhoods that gangsters built or controlled, they're prime real estate now. We're talking gentrification on a massive scale. But here's the thing. The bones of these areas, the foundations that make them valuable, that's all gangster legacy. The casinos, the nightlife districts, the ports, all of that shit started with some mobster's grand vision. From slums to skyscrapers, the legacy of gangster capitalism is written in the very streets of our cities. Now you might be thinking, that's all in the past, right? Wrong. The spirit of the gangster is alive and well in our cities, it's just wearing a different suit. Today's white-collar criminals are operating on the same playbook, creating monopolies, laundering money, building digital empires. It's the same hustle, just with computers instead of Tommy guns. So next time you're admiring some city's skyline, remember this. Behind every tower, behind every neon sign, there's a tale of hustle. Sometimes it's a legit businessman, sure. But often, it's some gangster's grand vision made real. Cities have always been battlegrounds for money and power. The gangsters, they just saw the game for what it was and played it better than anyone else. Look, I'm not saying we should celebrate criminals, but we can't ignore their impact. The city you live in, the streets you walk, they've all been shaped by the underground as much as by the establishment. It's a dark mirror of progress, showing us the hustle, the grit, and yeah, the fucking violence that built our urban world. So next time you're in the city, take a good look around. You're walking through gangster history, whether you like it or not.